This is the 40 Days for Life podcast with your host, Sean Carney.
Hello, and thank you for joining us today on the 40 Days for Life podcast. I'm Sean Carney, the president of 40 Days for Life, and your host for this podcast, which is dedicated to helping you end abortion where you live. Anger management. That is what we are going to discuss today, as abortion is the most controversial topic, and a lot of people say a lot of extreme things. They act in extreme ways. They provoke and entice. So how do you manage your anger? Somebody who has never been able to manage their anger and has caused many others to go into anger management counseling is Mr. Steve Carlin, my co-host.
I wanted to start this episode with a land acknowledgement.
Oh, no.
Heather is also here.
I'm here.
No, I actually did.
Okay, go ahead.
This podcast is being recorded on the ancestral homelands previously occupied by Davy Crockett and General Sam Houston.
Yes,
Thank you.
Who we love. We love them. We were talking about crime earlier and criminals and how criminals are dumb. Have you ever had a good idea of what kind of criminal you would be if you just decided, I don't care about morality, I think this is kind of easy, and I'm going to make some money doing it, and it's against the law?
I just assumed everybody has.
Everybody has their out in life. If this doesn't work out, I can always go into this area of crime.
Could I get away with it?
Could I get away with it?
Yeah.
What do you think?
You know I have my plans.
You're obsessed with crime.
I'm not going to give away my secrets, obviously. So
I have a crime career path that I think is going to surprise the listener of how much I've actually thought about it, because it started off as a joke, and then I was like, it's really not a bad idea. And every Thanksgiving, we watch the Best in Show, the dog show.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, because it's hysterical. And the movie's hysterical if you want to watch Best in Show.
You said that last year. I saw it. I think you built it up too much for me. I'm going to be on the opposite side.
Okay, that's fine.
I couldn't even finish watching it. It was so lame to me.
Because it's so stupid. Yeah.
But
it's really funny. But they're mocking these people that take care of their dogs. And I was watching it with the teenagers, and we're laughing and stuff. And I was like, how come, these criminals do stuff and it's insane and they're putting human life at risk? Why wouldn't you just track wealthy neighborhoods or people who's, walking their dogs, and you can tell if somebody's over the top for their dog.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And you just kidnap the dog.
Yeah.
And then get $5,000 or $10,000 back for it.
Yeah, easy. I'm sure.
It's not that outrageous of an idea.
Sure.
I'm not going to do it, and I don't support it, and I condone it. But don't you see the issue?
Because if you get caught, it's not like you held a human being.
Yeah, you didn't kidnap a kid. You didn't break any property or whatever. You just kidnapped a poodle.
So in terms of moral culpability, it's really not.
It's not as bad. Yeah, that's the way criminals justify it.
Sure.
But of all the crimes out there that people run into liquor stores and wave guns around and rob the place, and I'm like, why don't you go kidnap some lady's Shih Tzu or whatever and take it and be like, hey, $10,000 or I send you a paw.
Oh, no.
That's usually where people are over there.
The problem is you can no longer provide proof of life with a dated newspaper, because it's just AI.
No, you text the video.
Timestamp, yeah.
No, you text the video.
And you couldn't just do that with AI.
Here's Fluffy running around I'm not a monster, but, and it's not like I want $287,000, although for the right victim, you probably could get that out of them for their dog. But most people couldn't fathom never seeing their dog again. They'd cough up $5,000 or $10,000, wouldn't even think about it.
Wow.
Not that I'm considering doing this as a 40 Days for Life fundraiser.
I feel like I need to get my resume ready after being party to this.
Dog napping. I'm just saying, of all the weird / humorous things you read about in the news, I've just never heard about some high-end dog lover. If you got Bezos's dog, I don't know if he has one, but if he does, they're probably really close. I mean, if you got the dog, that's got to be worth $1 million to him.
Heather is now doing research.
I am doing
Instant research.
I'm going to have fun with this, but I will, in the meantime, call
Have we ever
back
discussed
to,
this before? I know I've talked to family members about it.
We've called. No, I don't think we have.
The problem is somebody listens to the podcast because it does this. We're on the stand and we're like, we never talked
Well, I
about
said
this.
I need my resume ready.
We didn't talk about that on the podcast.
Here's why you would never do it and why I would never do it is that would mean we would have to be in possession of a dog.
And I don't want to. I don't like.
true.
I'm not a big dog person.
Right.
I love dogs. I appreciate dogs. I'll never own one. But
This worked.
yeah, I wouldn't enjoy like I'll kidnap the heck out of you, Fluffy. You drive me crazy. It wouldn't be that part. So I would never do it because I don't want to be around a dog. Yes.
Okay, you're going to love this. I knew if I plugged certain words in, it was going to come out.
This is awesome.
Florida man.
I like him already.
See? That's what I said. All I did was type in Florida man kidnapped rich man dog.
Yeah.
Here's what comes up.
Good Google.
Florida man named Jeffrey Paris was arrested in November 2020 for stealing a dog and other valuable items from a man's home and then holding the dog for a $25,000 ransom. So there you go.
Did he get it? I guess he got caught. But he stole other things.
He stole items including $15,000 in cash, 2 handguns, Louis Vuitton goods. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I just think if there's the right neighborhood or whatever, if you kidnap some dogs like over a weekend.
Silver tuna tonight.
Yes. Good Home Alone reference. I love it.
Yeah, very good. It's just one of those really funny. We were watching the dog show, and I'm like, I'm just surprised because there are people that are really over the top obsessed with their dogs, and it's good. I understand, and a lot of it is there's a lot of loneliness in our world, but if you're sort of the halfway criminal and you're like, look, I'm not going to hurt a person. I don't want to steal anything, but I'm willing to like kind of.
Do you remember the last
Kidnap a
year, I
dog.
believe, or maybe the year before, we had the Animals Are More Important Than People podcast, and I pointed out the story on there of the Dancing with the Stars host who had the funeral for her 2 dogs that were killed by coyotes.
Yes, I
And
remember
she
this.
kept them for a few days, and then she like cut their fur and like smelled their fur and rubbed them.
Pretty bird.
I bet if you kidnapped her dog, she would give you a lot of money.
Oh no, she'd be on the 5-figure list for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe 6.
Or she'd go Liam Neeson on you.
You kidnapped the wrong dang dog. That's why not why I wouldn't do this, but it's one of the many reasons.
You seen John Wick?
I have not seen.
You know the
any of
premise?
those. I've never seen The Matrix actually.
The premise is a guy kills his dog, and then it's an entire series of films on him getting revenge in the most violent ways. There's no artistic merit to it.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
a little extreme. Someone kills your dog and you go hack up 50 people. Although I want to see it. I've heard John Wick's very good. But yeah, I don't know what the point of this was, but
We transitioned seamlessly from the last episode in Encino Man.
yeah,
to
Encino
John Wick
Man
today.
to kidnapping dogs for ransom money.
Hey, but anger. Good segue, natural
Speaking
segue.
of getting angry,
But there would be no anger in the perfect dog napping criminal. He's really not angry.
yeah.
He's just like
the dispassionate criminal.
down and out.
Yeah.
Things didn't go his way. Maybe his dog died.
Trying to get what's his,
Yeah.
Get back what's his.
So-
I do know my grandmother always told me when I was little that I would never be a good criminal because I would leave a lock of golden hair behind. That's what she always told
Oh,
me.
that's funny.
She was always finding like blonde hair. It's true.
Then through Heather's crime podcast and conference, attendance, she knows how to get rid of the hair
Playing the
and
long
other things as well.
20-year
Don't worry, Grandma. I know how to get rid of the evidence and the blood. Why are you talking like that, sweetheart? All right. Okay, this is a really good topic, actually. Aside from dog napping for money, we always say there's a few good reasons not to go out to an abortion facility, and this is one of them. You're angry and you literally can't handle it. And I know I've had a cousin who's like, I'd end up in prison. And I'm like, well, maybe don't come to their kickoff
Yes.
event.
Yeah.
Or you've been through an abortion. Like, those are basically the 2 big ones. You actually have an anger problem. Like, you were the guy that just always got in fights when somebody just barely said anything to you on the street. So you don't have the capacity to go because of that or an abortion in your past. But really, fear is the main reason. So, but with that, we've all been out there and at some point gotten angry. I think this is a good topic also for not just going out to the vigil, but watching TV and people get angry at talking heads on television.
Facebook,
yes.
Okay, boomer, as the kids say.
As the kids say. All right. There's a lot of people we might get angry with when we go out to pray. Let's list them. Abortion workers, abortion clients, which is really rare, but that happens, where the woman jumps out and is like, I can't wait to kill my baby. That does happen.
It does
Or
happen.
add one more to that list. Or, yeah, I killed my kid. I'd do it again. We've had that said.
Yep.
Okay. The men, politicians, vendors or delivery drivers. Most of the time they're really friendly, but sometimes they can be snippy. We're trying to put scenarios in here where you're not expecting it. It can kind of set you off.
and you just have the people who get angry at anyone involved in abortion. Like,
Yeah.
I'm the FedEx guy. Like, we'd be dropping off that package. That type of
Yeah.
pro-lifer.
Yeah. Do you know what they do here? And he's like, I'm trying to support my 5 kids. I'm sorry.
Right.
You know.
As though there's no fundamental difference between dropping off the mail and dropping off the abortion tools.
Hecklers,
Oh yeah.
relatives, other pro-lifers. Now, I think I've mentioned I've been angry once at an abortion facility. It was when I was like 19, and it's when the guy said, add that to my... A lot of this that just doesn't get to me, and I've been spat on. I've been yelled at, like the lady 2 inches from my face saying, I can't wait till your daughters get raped. I've had all that, but I'm pretty laid back in general. I don't really get wound up about a lot of stuff. Unless we're going to go kidnap some dogs and then get all wound up. I'm just trying to... Steve is actually nervous about this. He's nervous that a listener is going to go kidnap a dog and we're going to go to jail for it.
No, I already know which listener.
Everybody's laughing, and then there's like, you're listening to it with your cousin, and then you like look up and you're like, Bill, why are you taking notes? You know?
Like in Billy Madison when Steve Buscemi's putting lipstick on. Glad I called that guy.
Well, remember Newman from Seinfeld, the postal worker, the first time he meets, and Jerry's first time he meets Jerry, and he's like, oh, the postal workers, aren't y'all the ones that go AWOL and start shooting up offices?
Oh,
And Newman
my.
goes, sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay,
I
go
will.
ahead.
I will say when I first started volunteering here as a student, our first example, abortion workers. I was angry at the abortion workers. It was the Coalition for Life that taught me that even introduced the concept of praying in the Lord's mercy towards abortion workers. That was so foreign to me. And I remember my first reaction was like, what? They're the ones that are committing this awful, heinous crime. Why would I pray for them? Why would I? And then I quickly came to my senses and, thought about scripture. But that was eye-opening for me. And then just to see the abortion workers in a different light and see them as people who are, yes, obviously committing this grave moral sin, but not beyond conversion, which is the key thing. And I think that's the same for the abortion clients, the calloused, mean ones. I've had a handful of times where I've seen ones that are like, I remember one time where a girl was like jumping up and down at like excited, acting excited maybe.
Trying to convince herself, perhaps.
Right, maybe trying to convince herself, but like rubbing
that's
it
tough
in
to
my
witness.
face, like, oh yeah, I'm going in to get this abortion. Yeah, it's so awesome. And she was like, I'm so excited and exercising my rights. I've only actually seen that in person once. I've heard of it a few times. Like you said, I just killed a baby. It's so great. This is my 3rd one or whatever. And it oh gosh. And I remember one time, speaking of delivery people, we always had this tamale lady that would come here.
Awesome.
And
Tamale
lady,
Tamales
like delivering
are a normal
tamales.
thing, like
yes.
in Texas, after Mass, they have tamales in the back.
Okay.
It's like donut. It's like not a weird thing for somebody to drop off tamales.
You've had tamales.
I have. I've never heard the phrase, like the
Oh, tamale
identification
lady.
of tamale lady.
The tamale lady
Well-
is very common and is a wonderful person.
There was this one lady I noticed regularly who would come every month or every couple of weeks or something, like not probably every month. And she would always jump out of the truck really fast and go inside and go back in the truck and leave really fast. And one day I was like, I'm going to get her attention. I'm going to, like, hey, maybe think about, going somewhere else. Do you know what they do here or whatever? And one day I got her attention and she actually turned around to me and she goes, we got to get the devil's money. And I was like, oh. And then she like went inside and went back out. And I was just like, I don't know how to respond to that.
We got to get the devil's money is tough.
Yeah.
It sounds like one of those drinking games Kavanaugh got in trouble for playing during his exam.
Yeah.
Gosh.
There's a blast from the past. Let's go a little philosophy, Thomas Aquinas. What is anger? Thomas Aquinas says anger combines both sadness and hope. Sadness toward injustice.
Yes.
Hope for vindication of that injustice.
I love Aquinas.
He is a genius. Anger can be just or unjust. Just. Righteous anger that seeks to rectify an actual injustice.
Yes.
So there you go, 40 Days for Life volunteers. That's you. Unjust. That's maybe the other side. Father Chris, here we go with another Polish priest.
Send it to Heather. She got the whole check right last week.
Petrasco.
She's
That's
laughing
an easy
too hard.
one. That's an easy one. Father Chris Petrasco. Father, if you're listening, please email in what your name would sound like with normal letters. Petrasco. It ends. Look at these.
So
I love the
racist.
polls. The last four letters. SZKO. It's not Pietrasco. It's Petrasco. I'm gonna go with that.
You did a great job coaching Duke all those years.
Yeah, Mike Krzyzewski. That's the only Polish name anybody knows. Okay. He said that if we get angry because the weather is bad or we stub our toe, we are motivated by ego rather than pursuit of justice.
Yeah, so that it distinguishes anger from wrath, one of the deadly sins.
Right. But
And that wrath is the unreasonable expression of anger.
however, I did have a priest explain, and this is you stub your toe and you say something you wouldn't normally say. You're not culpable for that. Like you're like, oh my gosh, like you cuss out loud. Okay. That's not really, you're not that culpable. You stubbed your toe. It's a knee-jerk reaction. Whereas if you go in and cuss out the clerk at the gas station just because you don't like the weather, that's
Interesting.
different. Yeah. You've never heard that?
No.
I just don't think I agree. I think you would have diminished culpability, but be a man. Exercise your will.
Like
Let me just
knee-jerk.
smash your hand into the car door and be like, act like a man.
Burn his face with an iron.
I know. You don't understand that at all. You get up from the couch real quick and you stub your little toe on the end of the coffee table and you're like, son of a.
Or you're
No, I'm just saying
Sean and you hit the back of your head on a granite countertop accidentally when you're popping back
Remember
up.
that?
Oh yeah, I remember
Did
that.
I cuss?
Oh yeah.
That was like a Quentin Tarantino movie.
That was one of those things where I was like, do we have any clients in there?
I'm obviously justifying my own behavior.
He is. See, that's where I'm getting at.
where we're at.
Way back
F you,
then.
Steve. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, it's not righteous to become angry out of selfishness instead of pursuit of justice. So that's the angry thing, like, which we've all been in this position and we've all been around people in this position where you need to say to them or have said to you, you just want to be mad about this.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Do you like being angry? Because it kind of seems like it.
like, what are you so mad about?
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't know, So I do think little things, and the stub the toe could qualify for that. But I'll give you one of my pet peeves.
Okay.
And it happened to me yesterday, and I did like the Baptist thing, and I'm like, God wanted that to happen to me, and it means it won't happen for a long time. Okay.
Ooh.
Like
Gambler
he's testing. Yeah, John the
How
Baptist.
about that, John?
Producer John the Baptist loves that. See, they're starting to turn towards Jesus. My plan is working. You don't need Mary. You just need God. Okay, so this is my pet peeve. I don't know anybody who enjoys this, but for some reason, this is like, I had to think, I'm not letting my day spiral out of control. Very busy day yesterday. I'm running around town. Then I went and spoke at the thing across town. I won't name what it was, but whatever. And I check into the hotel. I need to go up to the hotel, like shower, change into a suit, and leave. Okay. And I'm carrying all my stuff from the parking lot. So I go up and the key doesn't work.
No.
Yeah.
Gah.
Yeah. So I went back down and I was like,
With all your stuff.
it's no one's fault. All my stuff, first world problems. And I get a new key. And for some reason, those little things, I had to like stop and be like, I'm not getting upset about this. Because little things don't set me off except for like that. That I don't know why that always drives me crazy. It happened to me one time in a Gaylord at one of our things. And it was like, I have to walk 30 minutes back. So.
But also being like a knee-jerk reaction would be like potty mouth in traffic when people cut you off. And that's not, you can't be morally culpable for that, right?
If you're faithful in small things, you're faithful in the large things.
Ah, thank you, Steve. Thank you.
What a wuss. Gosh, we're going to put a tape recorder in your car. We'll have somebody cut you off.
That would be funny.
I don't cuss people in traffic. I do like the go,
Yeah.
that whole thing, you know, or yes, that's a tree. Look, it's great. No, go through the light.
But to point out, like I said this as an example at the symposium last year, is like it's the same thing of being on the sidewalk. If you're actually sitting there and you're praying, and then somebody's driving by heckling you or cussing you out or saying like disgusting, maybe even really disgusting things, and you're like in your prayer, and then you're like, oh yeah, it's the same thing as like driving.
I'm gonna put down this Bible so I can flick you off.
It's like, forgive us our trespasses. Oh yeah, son of a, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver. Like just like
responsible in small things.
Having a reality check there is it's a good thing. But I've been guilty of that. I've caught myself doing that.
This makes me nervous about you. Okay, because as our general counsel Matt Britton says, what if you're the seething guy underneath, but nobody can see it? Like he doesn't even cuss when he stubs his toe, or he doesn't even say, gosh darn it, when somebody cuts him off in traffic. Like, what's buried under that facade that's going to explode?
Yeah.
God, you kidnap a few dogs, not the end of the world. I think you're going to kill, you're going to do some real damage.
Your beef isn't with me, it's with Jesus. I was just quoting him.
That's right. Now who's gone Baptist? That's right. You know what? How about I add you to the prayer list?
It's like they're not coming after Trump. They're coming after you. Trump is standing in the way. You're not coming after me. You're coming after Jesus. I'm just standing in the way.
Okay. We know Steve is being totally disingenuous.
Oh, I'm not saying I don't do it. I'm just saying I don't think I can let myself off the hook.
Well, I think that there's the phrase of like, okay, so let's say you do that, Sean. You're working in your garage and you accidentally hit your finger with the hammer and you belt out a curse word. Are you doing that if your 3-year-old daughter is standing there?
Yeah. See, that's another.
And you're like, no.
So then you have.
Or maybe.
You have control.
You have more control. Maybe the answer is yes, and you're like, sorry, but they're too young to know what it is, which is usually what I'm betting on. But that, you think about it. It's like, hey, would you have acted like that at dinner if your grandpa was standing next to you? And you're like, yeah, probably not.
Right.
Yeah, and that's your point.
Yeah.
Okay.
You actually do have control.
Okay, thank you.
The question, I think, is what if you just use a substitute? My wife gets on me. So for some reason, we've been fixated on Home Alone the last couple episodes.
Golly
last few
gee.
episodes.
Oh, the last two podcast episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a scene where like, I wouldn't let you stay with me if you were growing on my bleep.
Yeah,
on the TV version, they replace with arm, which I find hilarious. If you were growing on my arm. And
I've
so
seen that.
around the house.
That's Buzz.
Yeah.
Buzz.
Oh gosh, that's
Then Heather is pro Buzz.
on my arm. That's like we'll put a boot in your eye, radio version. From
Oh,
Toby
gosh,
Keith.
I know.
But around the house, I have taken to that. So I get cut off by the driver. I'm like, armhole. And my wife's like, that's really not much better.
You know what's worse than him even saying the curse word version of that is when he says, I'm going to feed you to my tarantula. That's the best. And he's imagining in his head. Oh, see, we're just trying to get back to Christmas. Oh my gosh. Okay, so anger is a just response to abortion. Abortion should make us angry because obviously it's a tremendous injustice that ought to cause sadness. We should maintain hope that this injustice will be rectified. So anger is forward thinking, forward action, authentic anger, good anger.
Yeah, it's just an easily, I would say, derailed response. anger, we're just to be angry, but nobody likes angry pro-life guy. Why is that? Well, what are the manifestations of it? It's typically, in a lot of cases, I think it becomes a matter of personal slight. Why do we get angry? Are we angry that abortion is taking place? Or are we angry that the guy came by and flipped us off? Are we angry that children are losing their lives? And I tend to see the most angry responses not to the injustice of abortion, but to personal insults, heckling, something that's designed to get under our skin, which I don't think is, if we're driven by ego, yeah, that's going to anger us.
So Thomas Aquinas is basically laying out these simple, beautiful, and accurate descriptions of what anger is. I think also this highlights subtly the reality of the anger of God. God could certainly be angry at sadness happening, and obviously hope that it could be rectified because he's God. But that we should, on top of that, fear his anger. You know, I mean, if fear of the Lord is the first step to wisdom, one of the fears people have is, you know, the typical judgment day, and he's this angry guy, and he sends me to hell, and all this stuff. And that's kind of a misguided notion of it. Yep. But I think there's a very real version of it, which is he has gotten angry throughout history. I mean, he killed all the Egyptians. Mm-hmm. He literally drowned them to death. You know, I mean, that's pretty dramatic. And so, or as Matt Britton put it, God's killed people, you know. So in one conversation that I had with him recently, you know.
Or the scripture where the kids are calling Elisha Baldy, so God sends 2 bears to devour them.
Yeah, just simple stuff like that happens every day. But I do think that the anger is in our nature, and it's not necessarily bad, whereas wrath is awful. Okay, guidelines for channeling anger in holy and proper way. Ephesians 4:26, be angry, but do not sin. That's so practical.
Yes.
Like, you're not walking around smiling saying, yeah, they're arresting innocent people, ain't life great, you know, or, oh, abortion, okay, no, nobody's perfect. It's that you are angry at the injustice, but you don't let it get the best of you. I think this is really hard for pro-lifers, including myself, of just, you got to keep this where it's at. And this could be also the person who, hey, you know, you may be spending too much time at the sidewalk, which is very, very few people on earth, by the way. Most people aren't going enough or aren't going at all. But there is the notion that you're out there too much, and your whole life is abortion or stopping abortion, and it's starting to eat at you.
Or that you haven't sufficiently anchored yourself to a life of prayer. That's where we've always said there's really 3 responses to the sorrow of abortion. You can get angry and burn out. You can get angry and double down and be angry pro-life guy who's there every moment, and you can't take your kids to Chick-fil-A because children are dying. Or if you're anchored to prayer, that's where you're, I think, able to be there to have that proper angry response, but to not let it become untethered to reason.
Yes, very well said.
It's still better than having no anger about abortion, and that's most people in the country.
Lukewarmness
of people die every day, bro. But not even that, because that's just kind of callous, but just, I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to just see the apathy of Christians in regards to many issues these days, but especially abortion. Although we're at probably an all-time low in the last 50 years of apathy to abortion. I mean, the pro-life movement is booming, but it's still something we hear everybody encounter in churches of just, I don't know, there's nothing I can do. And killing a baby is pretty dramatic, and it would be very awkward not to have some anger about that. Probably the oddest position in the world is to not be angry over abortion.
But there's you got to be careful here too, because I think some people will let that cross into now I can act a fool.
Bring the hammer. No, and I'm not saying that.
I know you're not, but
I'm countering the the guy that's like over the top. He needs to chill out and stop. But he has probably let the lukewarm nature of human society get to him. And he's now isolated himself. And I'm the only one that stands up to the injustice. You're really not. This is now getting self-absorbed. But that the apathy of the world, the lack of anger is very real. And sometimes I drives other people to be more angry.
Well, I think that's where we sometimes see the more confrontational responses to abortion, and I would see those as an inappropriate release valve for anger, because I think it just becomes an excuse to blow off steam. You're frustrated, and so you're going to be out there talking about burning in hell, like all of those sorts of things. In many cases, I think are simply blowing off steam rather than their constructive uses of anger.
Yes. That's too common, unfortunately. Those are the thing. It's common, but it's not as common as the amount of people who are outside with the disposition of being anchored in prayer, having hope, being angry, but channeling that properly, right? Those are the majority, I would say, of the people that we see and that are at our vigil sites. But it's just that one bad apple that ruins it for some people and scares people.
They tend to make a lot of noise, draw a lot of attention.
Yep. And that's the case. Like, some people would argue, it's funny because I was talking to one of our friends who is a former abortion worker in Arizona, and she was talking about how people make way too many excuses not to go to the sidewalk, like that are dumb. And some of us would be like, oh, like, I think that's legit, but she's a former worker and she's coming out and saying, like, no, like, so what? Somebody came and was angry or had a graphic sign or like yelled at you in addition to yelling at the clients. Like, so what? Big deal, you know? And I'm like, okay, well, cool. And I think this goes back to my whole thing is you have to have at least some thick skin to be on the sidewalk. You can't be a snowflake.
Yeah. I know from time to time we've had people say, like, well, I'm not going out there because there's an angry pro-life group out there with their aborted babies and their bullhorns and their condemnation, hell, fire, and brimstone. And my response is generally like, yeah, I agree with you that that's not a constructive approach to dealing with anger. But if you stay home, that's the
only representation. Yeah.
It's the gut feeling of how much do I actually love the women and the babies? How much do I really care? The fact that now I'm going to be inconvenienced. I don't go out to my nice, calm 40 Days for Life and sidewalk counsel and save babies all day. Now I got to deal with these people. It's not comfortable for me.
It's not comfortable, and you don't want to be associated with them. I don't want to be associated with them, but I do my best to make sure that I'm very distinctively acting different than they are.
I think, too, a practical tip of when you feel yourself getting angry, you're in the moment, and that's the problem. And you need to get out of the moment. And people ask me all the time, what do you think about before you give a speech? Which is kind of interesting because they're like, are you thinking about what you want to say? I was like, never. I was like, I did when I first started, but before you give a speech, if you're nervous, okay? So they're like, what do I do when I get nervous?
Sure.
I say, you need to think about like what you have to do next week. But you need to be thinking about how you haven't rotated the tires on your car in like 6 months.
Oh, gosh.
Like that's what you think about.
That's dangerous for me.
Why?
Because I start thinking too much about it.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, now I got to write it down before I forget it, because if I don't do that now,
you do that and then they call you up there. Because you know what you're going to say. You know, it's the actual talking. The problem is with anything, a lot of times, is you're thinking too much about it.
Sure.
Right. Like the surgeon knows what he's doing. He needs to go in there, or her, and get their stuff done. Right. But if they're thinking, if I mess this up, the guy's going to die, you know, and I think when you're getting revved up in anger, you need to think about next week, tomorrow, your kids, your grandkids, your church, who signed you up for 40 Days for Life. Like, if I act on this in a way that I want to, boy, what does that mean? And you're always going to end up later on that day being like, what was I doing? Like, I let this dipstick get the best of me. That's another reason, and that's probably my pride or stubbornness. I'm just not letting some dipstick, as to not offend Steve,
nice way to say
they're not winning. Can't we have that attitude? Like, you're not going to get under my skin.
Yeah.
You can drive by and curse me out. You can do all that. That's fine. It's like gas is expensive. You're just wasting your time. But you've got to let things roll off your back. You can never provoke anybody. You can never. But if you're really getting angry, you need to think about, okay, tomorrow or this Sunday I'll be at church with my family. And I mean, how am I going to feel about my response now? You got to get out of the present moment.
Yeah.
Because what are you doing? What does the expression of anger achieve? Maybe it's Martin Luther King and you double down and you're going to make sacrifices and lead the civil rights movement. Or maybe it's what we generally think of when we think of anger. Maybe you're going to lash out. Maybe you're going to use sarcasm. I think sarcasm is very rarely a constructive approach to
which is unfortunate for very sarcastic people.
But if you use it
like myself.
if you use it out there, it's going to be pretty tough and it's going to hurt your cause. And I think if you're angry, it's worth thoughtfully considering whether the response is going to advance God's will or simply give you a dopamine rush of, I got that guy back.
Yeah, and that never satisfies.
I have been able to, I've over the years, thanks to all the practice that I've had with praying on the sidewalk but it of course manifests in other parts of life where you just kind of cultivate a habit to immediately offer that up and pray for that person. So when I feel that anger and I just want to yell back at them and be like, okay, I need to pray for this person and I need to pray for me too. And of course, then I start praying for other people who might feel, scandalized by what the person said. But that's a good thing to do is cultivate those habits. It's going to help deal with those situations in the moment.
Yeah, it's just to list them. It's prayer, thinking about something else, thinking about your life, your kids, what you have to do later that day, what you're doing tomorrow, what you're looking forward to. What are you looking forward to? Are you going to be mad that you got angry and embarrassed the pro-life movement? Responding with charity with no emotion, how you say something, obviously much more important than what you actually say.
Oh, pray for you.
Yeah, we'll pray for you. Yeah. Yeah, and I've heard pro-lifers say stuff that I'm like, ugh. I'll give you an example. We won't protect our own. The lady came up and screamed at us. And a guy next to me was like, I wonder how many abortions she's had.
Yeesh.
And I said, in all seriousness, probably a couple. It's not good. And he was like, yeah, no, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to be like a jerk, but just and some people may just defend reproductive rights or abortion rights and they yell at us. That's fine too. But I hate the casting off everybody who's against us.
There's also I hate this sort of thing, which you sometimes see in the Christian world. I'm not going to gossip about this person. I'm not going to say something negative. I'm just going to tell you the bad things that they did so that you can pray for them.
The politicians, it's like, this isn't going to be a personal attack. I'm not going to talk about my opponent's divorces. I'm not going to talk about how he, stole from his grandma. Yeah.
Kidnap dogs.
Kidnapped.
That's a good one.
That's one heck of an LLC. Okay. Pray about it. Connect with our Lord. Take a break. That's a really good one. If you're losing your mind, take a break. Go get some coffee. Take a break from the vigil. And ultimately, as we've mentioned, just have balance in your life and have humor and learn to laugh at the world. One of the reasons we do the banter on this podcast, and it's built in. It's not just completely to hear ourselves talk and opine, but to show that you have to have humor in this, even if you're joking about kidnapping dogs, or you're not joking. I don't know. What's funny is we got Heather on this, and she's the most crime. What's the word? You're not naive to crime. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Correct.
You're not.
You're streetwise.
No. I would say very hardened. She's listening to homicide podcasts and
I'm expecting
we listen to an episode and we're like, he killed 2 people, and she's like, it's not like he killed 4.
That is not true.
That's not the worst crime in the world. Yeah.
No, that is not true. Mine is more, there's a homicidal maniac around every corner. Just beware.
Now you can't operate. But that's okay. I'm pro women being paranoid because I have daughters.
There you go.
Yeah, I get comments about that sometimes.
If we do this dog thing, we're probably going to need her help, though.
Exactly.
We're not doing the dog thing. It was only a joke and a funny observation when I was watching a movie.
You guys give up, or you thirsty for more?
I wouldn't steal
How
dogs.
much do you really love Skittles, Mrs. Johnson? We could get the voice thing through the phone. You have 5 seconds. Oh, this is why we definitely have to keep this podcast away from my
Yeah.
wife.
I wouldn't steal dogs with you if you were growing on my arm.
Yeah, if you were growing on my arm. Yeah, we had a lot of Home Alone shout outs today. So
For no reason.
but good topic. Very good topic. Very practical. So we hope that this helped you laugh and also put this in perspective, because anger is definitely part of this, and it needs to be a righteous anger that is accompanied with hope and joy, so that we can turn hearts that are truly angry and wrathful in the worst ways. So thank you, Heather. Thank you, Steve. Please rate, review, and share this podcast, and we will see you next time. God bless you.